Good day, I am Daniela and I am going to make a reaction video about the TED Talk of Niema Moshiri about the era of online learning last 2017. So first, he tackled about his personal experience about the MOOC or the Massive Open Online Course, but it is made face-to-face, so it's a different setup, and he experienced a he didn't get the satisfactory of learning because his professor was only flashed in the screen and was also teaching at the other classroom. So it is difficult to ask questions for his classmate because the professor is doing multitask. So it is an issue about the lack of educators in universities and also in local public schools and other schools facing around the world. So he tackled about the lack of professionals to address the issue about the education. So he break down about the online courses for the future, which is probably from this year, which really seen effectiveness because of the pandemic. So online classes is the must and it's the only solution to continue the learning of the students. So online courses are somehow ineffective, as he says, based from his experience, because he said that he finished the course in Coursera for about like four days in a row instead of weeks. So but then he didn't learn anything from it. So it's a manifestation that some learners also procrastinating about what they learned. They don't really learn anything from online or from the online courses they took, but they rather just wanted to finish but didn't get any satisfactory about the certification that they get because they didn't learn anything from it. So it's very much useless. And then he tackled about the MOOC or massive online courses, which is that Coursera, which the student will going to apply and then the Coursera will supply a supplemental videos, learning videos. And then he said that it is a fail because it is, yes, it is open and it's online, so many or majority who have access in the internet can connect or enroll, but then it's useless because the students didn't get any feedback. And then he said that the massive adaptive interactive text, which is he proposed to the audience because it promotes interactive text, which student can can ask the teachers or the professor can ask the professors about the lessons or what's the misunderstanding or vague information. So it is a direct, there is an interaction between student and the teachers that can be clearly clarified, unlike the supplemental video that is only a one-way information. There's no feedback at all. So the massive adaptive interactive text learning style promotes the feedback or the system of feedback, which a student will get what what he or she knows, or assessment that she deserves to know or to explore about, or where is she lacking the lapses. Or and then he said that massive adaptive interactive text addresses learning breakdown of the students because it promotes the learning and then the assessment, and then if the student got a vague information, then the teacher can address it properly, since there is a feedback received by the teacher, and the student can address it before moving on to the next topic, which I think that learning breakdown can happen in face-to-face, both face-to-face and online, because we don't know about what the students will struggle. It doesn't really matter about the information. I mean, it doesn't only matter about the information they get, because learning and environment of the student is one factor, especially that not everyone is having or going home in a very healthy situation, or not in a very good mental stability to continue to study. It's not always about what the student don't really understand the lesson, but sometimes student have a personal struggle or emotional struggles that we don't know. So learning breakdowns can be somehow questionable, because we don't have any proof that one student or having a breakdown because of his personal experience, or if the student didn't choose to be open to the teacher. So but then it is important to have feedback, so it can clarify immediately, it can be addressed properly. But then, and then the next one is the interaction itself is somehow the too much interaction, rather it's somehow exhausting for the students, since they are giving so much and exhausting themselves, like what do I learn, what do I really learn from this and that, and then they're going to think of, does it really matter, or I just want to answer for the sake of, I just want to give an answer to my teacher. And somehow we just need to address what is really important, or the smallest thing or the matter that which breaks the activity itself. It doesn't have to give too much or make things complicated for the teachers or the educators to know what the student really know, or to assess the student in short. And then motivation, he said that motivating the student or making the learning fun is one priority, or is a must for a teacher, since students nowadays are having, like what I said, mental stability or breakdowns for perhaps because of the loads or the situation we are currently facing. It wasn't only faced by the student itself, but the teachers also. So motivation is a very questionable, as for as per our professor in other subject, because motivation comes that it doesn't stop when the activity stop, it must continue. So it is not limited to one day. So motivating a student is can get you for like a month. So it's a work in progress. So motivating your student doesn't only happen in one snap of a finger or one snap of an activity, but starting to motivate your student is a great way to survive or to help the student to cope up with what is happening in the situation, or for him or her to learn the subject itself. So but then dwelling too much in knowing what the student really learned is somehow unmotivating. It's very much unmotivating for them to exhaust themselves or to pressure themselves on what do they really learn from this. And to if they fail to commit or they admit something, the pressure is really on them. So I think balance is the only solution to motivate students at some point. And my recommendation is, we always have to check the privilege of everyone, each and every one of us, because the video shows that internet will really show a big part or a big role in our lives, especially during this pandemic. And not only because we are transcending in the 21st century, that our world connects to the internet, different technologies, high tech, digital, and so on and so forth. But then the massive adaptive interactive text that happen online was only or not or only limited that can be applied here in the Philippines, because we are still a developing country, unlike the US, where the speaker came from, where he can really afford, because the government and the country he came from is a very well developed country, or the first world country, unlike here in the Philippines, where the situation is poor and a lot of things must addressed first before addressing the online technology situation. So I think that's all, ma'am. Thank you so much.